All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm so proud of myself today. Yeah, I got my microphone working down here. I think we're going to be in good shape for a fun show. Good morning. Happy Thursday. It's my Friday, actually. So you may know this. I'm leaving for a week. You're going to go to Jersey, see some family. I'm going to go play in AC. We're going to play some craps in Philly. Hopefully, I don't do to myself there what I did to myself here this morning in the Paycheck. If you watch the Paycheck, and I hope you did, you should watch it every day. The Paycheck it's the best show on the internet. It's fun. I take these strategies, as you know, I play them for 5 days, right? If a strategy can last me for 5 days, I'm like, there's days where I'm a great shooter and there's days where I'm a terrible shooter, but I tend to find every hole. I have this weird ability to find every hole in a strategy and we'll break it, right? The gunslinger on its face, good strategy, right? It makes good sense. 4 and 10, when they hit, they win big. Work the inside hard, right? You can make the inside groove. It's a right side play. I love the bets that are out there if you're rolling them. Yesterday, I rolled nothing but sevens and destroyed the whole strategy. It went all the way to zero, basically, because I kept rolling so many quick sevens. So Ken and I, who've been working on it together, let me switch screens here, been working together on this thing, back and forth, trying different tweaks to it. The early part of the week, the tweaks were, how do you play the inside the best? Because we're rolling good numbers on the inside. Well, yesterday with all the sevens, he tried to fix it by saying, I'm going to fix the 7, and I'm going to put a don't pass in there because everybody thinks the don't pass is the fix for the 7. Don't pass is not a fix for anything. It works when it works. The don't pass is my favorite bet on the table. It works great. I'm a dark side player by nature, but there are days where it doesn't always work. I think, I've said this for a long time, hybrid strategies, pure hybrid strategies are going to do this. They're just going to basically tie until something happens. One way or the other, you're going to start winning in a hybrid, okay? This one in particular, the early part yesterday was all dark side, right? So the light side was a clean loser. Today, because we went so heavy on the light side, all the come out 7s, 11s, and the points being hit 4 times in a row, it became a strategy where one side dominated, but it dominated in a poor way. You can't fight yourself all the time. The thing is, when you're hybriding, sometimes you're just fighting yourself. And today was a day where we fought ourselves. All those come out losers wouldn't have mattered, right? All the buckshots that cost us money, cost us $4,000 on the don't pass today, would have been winners up in the box today, right? Sometimes a strategy is a good strategy that meets a bad day. I think yesterday, the gunslinger, a good strategy met a bad day and the 7s took it apart, right? I think by trying to overfix it, you made it worse, right? I think we made it worse today. I think that trying to fix it ended up muddying the waters and it would have won today. It would have won both sessions, it would have won today. Easily, more easily than without the don't pass. We would have been, instead of it being 6 and 2 like it is now, actually it's 6 and 3. That's wrong. We should probably change that. It would have been probably 7 and 1, right? That's I think the thing. We just got crushed today, but it's a good lesson. It's good to see that even with quote unquote the perfect strategy, you're going to find the holes. I will find the holes. The dice will find the holes, and there is no magic pill. I think Vince was talking about that a little bit in chat. There is no magic pill. There just isn't. So. Anyway, let's actually work together here real quick. I'm going to change my screen for you, and we're going to go ahead and you're seeing the green screen there. Let's put the numbers in for today. Let's get this thing entered in correctly. So we're going to go, today's the 9th, right? 3-9. So I'm going to copy this row. Look at how this thing ends for us here. 3-9, 3-9. Session 1, we won, we won $700, right? Won $700. It took about 40-ish rolls, right? In session 2 today, we lost $4,300 in that second session, okay? And that didn't take long. That only took about 25. I'll count the rolls, but there's our numbers, right? Today we lost, look at this. The losses we had were big. This one here, tons of 7s. This one here, nothing but points being hit. We added the DP, and that crushed us today. Okay, there's your notes. This thing just got hammered, and there's your numbers. So overall, minus 51.77 for minus 103% loss for the week. So that thing goes from being one of the front runners to now one of the ones that's going to be down here in the bottom. The gunslinger is going to be, if I resort this thing by the profit percentage, let's do, I think I can sort the whole thing, right? Sort sheet Z to A. Let's go. Now the gunslinger's down in here. It's down in this realm down here. Instead of being where it was at the very top of the leaderboard, it's going to be down the bottom, which is interesting. We've only got really 4 strategies that are up over the 50% win goal, which is interesting, right? That's kind of crazy. That means that they won basically every day. Wow. So let's put the numbers in on the other page. So it's minus, how much again? Minus 5177. So minus, oh geez, I gotta make this editable here. So hold on, minus 5,177 for minus 103%. Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah, that's a tough strategy. So here we go. Let's go back up here. We'll go back over here and you can see my face again. Yeah, rough one. It was a rough one. So sorry that it didn't work out. It would have been nice to have had that thing win 5-0. But again, the Daily Paycheck's quest, right, is not to validate everybody's strategy. It's not to say that your strategy is awesome. It's not for me to pat you on the back. It's for me to say, I would take my money with your strategy to the casino every day for the rest of my life and know I can win $500. That's what the paycheck is about. It's not about anything other than that. There's a discipline exercise that's built into it, $500 and leave. Most days we do $500 and we leave and we're just fine. Today I reset it, right? We won 600 or whatever it was. I reset the bankroll, down in flames. So I'm showing you discipline in terms of reset the bankroll, start over like it's a brand new day, even though I'm still playing. So remember what's going on there. Again, discipline exercise, but it's also to know what is safe and what's not safe. And I can tell you this, pure right side plays, when we do, I'll do the Philly special out there too. A pure right side play that just go for the home run won't be a good paycheck play. The good paycheck plays are the low house edge ones, right? The right side, gunslinger, pure right side, let it work. That's a great home run play. It's not a good paycheck play. That's my personal opinion with it. I think the lower house edge stuff, more don't pass with odds, that kind of thing, that's where you make your daily paycheck. You're not going to win a home run, but you're going to win consistently. And I think that's what we're learning as we look at the series. And the ones that are winning are the low house edge plays. The one outlier is the moonbow, which we had a great run of rolls that week. I'm going to run that for a whole month too and see how that thing works over the course of a longer period of time. But yeah, know that your low house edge plays are the way to make consistent, tiny wins, tiny losses. You're not going to usually hit home runs there. If you want to hit a home run, there's ways to do it, but you got to have everything work out perfectly, not like what you saw today. So with that said, move ahead here. I think I'm not actually prepared for a lot of the show today because I was up so late last night getting ready for the trip. Anyway, here we go. Let's talk about my favorite topic. You might be a douchebag if you take forever to set the dice. Now, this is going to be directed at all my dice influence and friends out there. Be fast, okay? We don't get heat. The casinos do not care. We talked about this, right? They don't care that you set the dice and are a dice setter. They don't care. They don't think you can beat them, right? Fine. What they do care about is rolls per hour, right? That's when you get heat. So if you're a slow dice setter, you're pissing everybody else off. Number one, you're taking the vibe down. You get the eye rolls from everybody, casino side and player side included. You lower the rolls per hour, you bring heat. Right now they're on you. Now they're on everybody else. You see no dice setting signs, not because they don't think you can beat them, right? Or not because they think you can beat them. No dice setting signs because you slow the damn game down. So keep the game pace up. Don't be a douchebag and set your dice for an hour and a half. Don't be the guy also that rolls them against the back wall 50 times trying to find a 7 or whatever you're doing back there. That's ridiculous. Please keep the game moving. Everybody wants to keep the game moving. There you go. Don't be a douchebag and not keep the game moving. All right. That said, what's next to talk about? Again, come out roll. Here's the thing. We have a Friday night fight tomorrow night. Jeff and Chris will deal. It's going to be, looks like it's going to be Galen R versus Old Bay Craps tomorrow night. A new champion versus a challenger that's played before. My vacation is coming up. I'm leaving tomorrow. Here's what's happening. I did a video last night. That's why I was kind of late this morning. I was up to about 2 last night doing this damn thing. I filmed, I took my iPad and I filmed my garage. You can see like how the garage is set up. And I filmed this room here, I can show you how my setup is. And I filmed my desk setup so you can watch like how I kind of produce the show as I'm doing it. And then I also filmed myself cutting down a video and producing a full video. It's about an hour or so long. So one of the Coffee and Craps next week will be that video of kind of the inside tour of my house, the studios, and how I do things. The other one that I'm working on is slow motion. So I did a bunch of slow motion shots of my throw so you could see what I see. And the reason why people think I'm nuts for being a dice setter anyway, or trying to be a DI, when you see the slow motion, you'll see a couple things. One is I suck at this, right? I'm not very good at it most of the time, but you can see in the slow motion, there's a few shots in there where it's like perfection. And you can say, that's what he's looking for. And I know that I can quote unquote do it once in a while. And it's like, if you look at those perfect shots and you go, that was a perfect shot. And it does, it hits the ground, it hits the back wall, it comes back down, and everything works out exactly like the physics that I talk about say they should. It's about 10% of the throws that I make are perfect, which means I have some level of influence about 10% of the time. The whole exercise is, can I get that influence to be more than 10%? Can I influence 20% of my rolls instead of 10% of my rolls? The rest of the rolls are pure random, right? If there's no influence, it's random. So if 90% of my throws are random, the 10% is where I'm trying to make that little bit of a difference. I want that 10% more. And now that I've seen that I can do it, it gives me more, sorry, Greg, it gives me more impetus to keep practicing because I know it's possible. Now I've seen the physics work. I've been talking about the physics. I'm gonna show you the physics tomorrow of how it actually happens. And you'll see, and I'm gonna break down, I'll show you some of the ugly ones, of course, because I have to. But I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna spend time on the good ones because the good ones are where the butter is. So I'll do a show on that also this week. Today, I'll do that show. So tomorrow or next week, you can watch it, maybe Wednesday or something like that. I think on Sunday, we've got an episode of Fireside Craps coming out with JB. I may actually move that to be to premiere in the morning. So one Coffee and Craps will be the tour. One Coffee and Craps will be the Fireside Craps with JB launch. And the next one will be the dice setting thing, and then I'm back on Friday. So you'll have one maybe day without a show next week. So trying to give you guys content while I'm gone and keep you kind of plugged in. The JB episode, I think, is going to be 2 hours. So it might be a longer Coffee and Craps. I might do that one starting at 7 a.m. and let it run from 7 to 9. Just watch your notifications and you'll see kind of what's happening there. So let's see, what else is happening? Yeah, so this is going to be one of those things where we have to talk. I got to fix you guys. Let's see. Victor, you're so wrong about this. I love you, buddy, but you're wrong. The chopper is a legal toss. It is not you say it's not even a slider. And you'll see tomorrow when I share the slow-mo, there's nothing about that toss that slides. Like it's literally, it's a foot off the ground the whole time until the very end of it. Sometimes I throw it short and have it kind of bounce into the wall. There's no sliding in that shot at all. The genesis of it, the original chopper, the original helicopter toss was a slider. It was an illegal toss. People used to throw the spin move and it would slide one of the die across the table. One would fly, one would slide. So absolutely, the history of that throw is illegal. The way I throw it, the way Cage throws it, it's not illegal. You'll see it, it's in the air, they bounce, they randomize, they do all the things a regular dice should do. However, I have mastered the physics of it. So sometimes I get it right, and the physics of it, you'll see that they act like they should. It's not in any way possible an illegal throw. So there you go. Let's see. Oh, we have some gifted members. Nemo, what are you doing, man? I love you, dude. You're gifting some memberships, which is pretty awesome. That's so cool of you. All right, so again, come out roll. A couple of things to mention. I think I might have already done it. Dice DGen is at 986 subscribers. We're 14 subscribers away. Tell your friends and family. Get your daughters and your wives and your cousins to subscribe to his channel. Get him over the mark, please. Get him over the mark. He's been busting his ass for a long time to do it. Midmo Yo says, thanks for the content. Thank you for your content. I think, I wish I could do it. I wish I could watch and play along with your contest. So Midmo Yo's got a contest going March 13th, 15th, and 17th. That's Monday, Wednesday, Friday of next week. Saturday, the 18th, would be the finals, right? I'll be able to watch the Friday and the finals, but the other days I'll be on vacation. He's doing basically a crapsy tournament where he's throwing the dice and you're betting in crapsy. If you're in all 3 rounds, top 4 people, I guess, get to go and play live on his table Saturday. And he's giving away those chips. Did you put a picture of those things in chat somewhere, Jiro? I'll do this. That's not what it is. But he's got these chips where he's a jeweler, you know, and he embedded diamonds and rubies and sapphires and something else into the chips. So they're like not just chips, they're valuable chips, right? So the winners, the top 4 people will get a white, a red, a green, and a black, depending on your placing. One of those awesome chips that he's created as a jeweler. So I think that's really cool. Tune into that. Tune into DGen's channel and watch he's got his bracket started, which is awesome. The Dice DGen March Madness bracket has started. I actually did a rollout with him last night. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but it was a good one. It's a good one. It was a nail biter last night. I can tell you that. Fun show. Chris is a great dealer. When you watch him deal, I told him last night. I watched in the after show, or maybe even on the show after he got done dealing our game. I was like, man, his dealing is so smooth. Like, he's just getting really, really good. You watch him deal, he's like watching a professional. I think, Chris, if dealing, unfortunately, it pays about 1/3 of what your actual salary is, but you'd make it as a dealer. Your personality's great. Your hand skills are great. You're doing really good. It's fun to watch. I had a great time hanging out with you last night. Super cool. So there we go. What else is happening here? I'm just going to look at some chats here. I don't have a lot to talk about today. Let's actually go here. We can do some. I was going to go to WinCraps today, but I didn't write my scripts last night. I can show you kind of what I did, but we can do a little bit if you want to. But really, let's go to chat, and I want you to guys just ask questions of me today. We'll just work over here because it's the last day of the week, and I've had a week. So I'm going to just kind of work through over here. Dice Dr. Dan is saying Wayland's Way Crafts, the best. The way to play John is with my DC hopper, right? You know what? The thing is, I'm not really, how do I say this right? Not that I'm a bad shooter or a good shooter. I just find the weird pockets, right? I'm a streaky shooter. That's what I would classify myself as. I'm a very streaky shooter. I'm not good or bad. Today, I was very streaky on the points. I was hitting box number. I was really hard on the inside today. And the come outs were very hard on the craps numbers. I get into these big time pockets where I'm throwing 30 box numbers with no horns. And then I get in a pocket where I'm throwing nothing but horns. I'm super streaky, which is why I think I break strategies. I think I break strategies because I'm such a streaky shooter that I will jump into a thing. And if we don't change the strategy while I'm throwing, it feels like I'm destroying a strategy, but it's just, I think I'm more streaky than random. Random people get streaky, but they're all over the place. Dice controllers or dice setters, whatever, they get into consistent pockets. I don't have a consistent, like I'm throwing box numbers pocket like Alfredo or some of these guys do. I'm streaky in certain spots, and I think the way I toss it works that way for me. So whatever, man, that's just how it works for me. So yeah, I don't know if there's any way to play against me. There's a note from Adam here that wants me. I forgot about this. Ed from Roll to Win is going to be guest shooting on Jeff's show tonight. So Jeff's doing the Crapsy show. I think Ed's going to be the shooter, which is going to be really cool. That's a little bit of the outside the box thinking that Jeff does. I think Jeff does a really good job of finding different ways to do stuff. And Ed's going to be shooting for him. I think we're in this really interesting world right now where, and I said this, I was talking to Ed about this privately yesterday. I made mention of this about a month or so, 2 months, whatever ago. I've been feeling a little bit of fracture in the community. Not fracture, but what I mean by that is Jeff's got this great content. Alfredo's doing content. Everybody's doing stuff live, right? Crapsy is a beast of its own. I've got the morning show. Alfredo has the afternoon Talking Crap show. We've all got Discords. Now Jeff's got a Reddit and a Facebook, and there's just stuff everywhere. We're all over the place right now, right? There's no what I would call cohesiveness within the unit. We're a good, strong community, but we're not cohesive right now. And it feels like we're going all over the place in here. That said, I love what Jeff is doing with thinking of other ways to do things, because if everybody's rolling crapsy and we're all betting on crapsy, then we're all doing the same damn thing. And it's boring. How many games of crapsy can you play in a day, right? Jeff bringing in a guest shooter, cool. That's something totally different. Alfredo bringing in guys to talk while he's shooting, interesting, right? Finding different ways to do the content, I think, is where we have to be. We have got to be, as a group, live all the time. I think that's a great thing, but live in different ways all the time. Everybody doing what everybody else is doing just makes it mud instead of a beach. You follow what I'm saying? So that's where we need to get. We need to get more consistent as a group. We need to get together as a group and just do some things that I think are kind of moving the needle in different areas. I don't want to have this thing be boring. So yeah. If you want to chat me though, put PCs in front of it so I can see your I'm going to filter all the chats here by the letters PC so I can see what you're asking me. Let's see. What do I think of the 3 most polarizing players? Oh my God, you're going to put me on the spot, Nemo, aren't you? What do I think of the 3 most polarizing players? Vince, Waylon, and Nemo. Here's my thoughts on you all. I hate all of you. No, I'm kidding. I like you all for different reasons, and I dislike you all for different reasons. Okay, and I mean that with love and respect. Okay, Vince, as you know, is if Einstein were a craps player, it would be Vince. He's the mad scientist, and maybe not Einstein. Maybe he's Dr. Frankenstein. Vince is a crazy person. Right? I just picture him, hair on fire, like, unkempt, doing his thing. Vince isn't afraid to try anything crazy. He'll put it in wind craps. He'll roll it for 30 hours straight to see what happens. The guy studies. Like, we make fun of him because he's a little bit of a wacko, right? Sometimes in chat, and he does crazy things in the tournaments, right? He's the mad scientist. He's actually trying every possibility all day long. And the things that he comes out with and says, this is the way to do it, it isn't because he's trying to make a point in chat, right? It's because he's tried it a billion times on Windcrafts, or he's done it he's putting in the work, right? Do I agree with everything his conclusions are? No. I don't always agree that, same betting is the way to win. I don't always agree that permanent pressing is the way to go. I don't always agree that marker play is the way to do it. He's got some ideas that I don't agree with. I don't agree with out of sight, out of mind. Right? I like to look at my bankroll and know where I'm at. That said, we'll clash sometimes, right? He and I clashed a few weeks back because he gets opinionated. But I love Vince. I think Vince pushes the needle in mathematical, interesting directions, right? I think, put the question back up there. The other polarizing player, Waylon, I don't think Waylon's polarizing. I think Waylon's a great guy. Waylon and I have talked on the phone many, many times. And you can say what you will about, and you can put Ken in this list too. We can drop Ken in there as somebody to talk about. Waylon can be polarizing because Waylon plays an aggressive high bankroll requirement style. Some people love that, right? If you've got $100,000, right, you can go and try and win $300 by laddering forever. Eventually, the math will work out and you'll win. The polarizing part of the way that Waylon plays, and not everybody can afford to do that. Right? So you watch a Waylon strategy and go, oh, wow, he won. I can do this too. And before you know it, you go out there one time and you get your butt kicked because you don't have the bankroll to sustain it. I think Drunk Guy Explains Charlie and a Waylon got into a battle one time because Charlie tried a Waylon strategy and lost. And he posted that I lost on a Waylon strategy. And it wasn't an indictment of the strategy. It was an indictment of himself not practicing it. Right? I think Charlie's got it put together where he says you got to put hundreds of hours behind a strategy. You can't play something in the casino that you didn't do on your table or on Crapsy or somewhere else for at least 100 hours to see all the pitfalls, all the holes, understand how it works before you put your bankroll behind it. And that's what Charlie said. Waylon strategies, for the most part, are pretty simple, right? Ladder this, ladder that, move this, move that. You just got to practice it. And you got to do it with your own play money here and work it before you go out. That's Waylon's only polarizing because the amounts that he uses and his stuff seems to always win, right? Do it yourself. You got to practice those things. Like I said, I've run his stuff down to zero many times because of, it's me. Who else do you want to ask about? It was Nemo. I don't think you're polarizing. Well, you maybe are polarizing. Your problem is this. speaking directly to you, Nemo, your perception of you is you're a crazy person with your betting, right? Because you watch my morning show and every time I roll a 7, you're buying in for another $20,000 or whatever it is. People see you hopping crazy amounts and putting a lot of the hyper pressing thing itself is kind of a hyper aggressive play, obviously. People see that and they make an assumption about you. And I know that that's not you specifically, but the polarizing part about that is that you win and lose at such great rates and at such amounts that nobody could ever play, that the seriousness level that you can be taken at, right, it gets lowered because of the amounts you're using and how volatile what you're doing is. That's the reason why you're polarizing, not because you're a bad person or you're not funny or your icon's not cute and you're not fun to play with. It's that they can't take that level of volatility seriously. And that's my only beef with you. Let's keep moving on. Let's go. Let's put Ken in the mix, right? Ken from Ken Knows Gambling, good friend of mine. I love Ken. Ken can be a little divisive, right? Or divisive, however you want to say that word. He swears a lot, right? Ken is also honest, open, and out there. He's about the most transparent guy you're going to find. You talk to Ken, you're getting full Ken all the time, right? The Ken Unfiltered thing. Yeah, you can take or leave the swearing. I swear sometimes too, but you're never going to not know what Ken thinks, which is what I appreciate. Some people hide behind political correctness or saying the right thing or whatever. I'm guilty of that sometimes too, not with Ken. And I like the fact that Ken and I can just shoot each other crap back and forth all day long, especially with the strategy build, and it doesn't matter, right? I think that's one of the endearing things about him. You may not love him and his style. I like the fact that he's open, honest, transparent, and there's no guesswork there. There's no guesswork there. He's not trying to be complex, right? He's just giving you what's up. And I think Waylon does the same thing. Waylon is the exact same way. Here it is, man, laying it out there for you. Love it or hate it, this is what I got. I think that's a beautiful thing that's actually missing in our country in general. We're all hiding behind, whatever, pronouns and this and that and trying to walk on eggshells. And Ken and Waylon do none of that. And I appreciate that. And that's one of the things I love most about both of them. So there's that. The other polarizing guy, we can talk about it too, is King Dice. I might as well talk about this. King Dice, I'm going to put this chat back up again because that's the same topic, Nemo. King Dice, another polarizing guy, right? Haven't met him yet. I've never talked to him. I have texted him a couple times, but I never actually talked to him. Who knows? He might be the greatest guy in the world, and he might be playing a character on YouTube. He might be that guy in real life. He might be worse, and he's playing a better character. Who knows, right? Do I care that he doesn't like me very much? No. Right? I think sometimes he does things to be polarizing because being polarizing, right, gets people talking about you. And if people are talking about you, then they're watching you. And if they're watching you, then what you have to say gets heard. And sometimes as a marketing ploy, that happens, right? If that's what he's doing, cool, right? If that's the way, I've chosen not to market myself that way. I'm trying to get viewership and friends other ways, right? If it works for him, cool. Right? If being bold and bombastic and doing the thing works, great. Let it be, right? So no, I don't view him as an anti-hero at all. I view him as a guy who's on YouTube making videos and doing his thing. Do I love people selling lessons? No. Is what it is, right? That's his business plan, and that's fine. That's on him. So no, I think he's polarizing because I think he's to some degree trying to be polarizing. I think that's a conversation starter. And it's not the end of the world. So Dice DGen says, PC, maybe I'll retire early. Yes, we're going to be able to deal at my table, right? We're going to have Casino Del John somewhere, and you're going to be my dealer. You're going to be like, here's what I'm going to do. You know what we're going to do? This is the secret. Don't tell anybody this. Casino John is going to be like, remember the movie Bartender where they're flipping the bottles, right? All that kind of crazy stuff. Why don't we have our dealers be bartenders? Why can't we have a craps table where the dealers are also bartenders? And as you're dealing craps, they're taking your drink orders and it's a party at the table. Why can't we do that? Let's make that my casino, right? $3 minimum bet craps, no edge. We'll call it edgeless craps. And we'll have our dealers be bartenders. It'll be fun. That's what I plan to do. Cajun Craps, he said, please change the zoom level of the insert so you can see the whole screen. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what your OCD was talking about. So That's a crapsy thing. For some reason, that thing gets pumped through and the tops and bottoms are cut off. I'll see what I can do. But the iPad version of crapsy cuts off the top and bottom. I'll try and fix that. I'm sorry about that. I know that can be a little off-putting. I hope so, Dan. I don't know when I'm playing. Here's the problem. Saturday when I get to Jersey, my brother and I, he's in Cape May, we're going to try and get over to AC on Saturday afternoon sometime and play. If I do, and that's not even a guarantee. It depends on my brother. If we do, I'll drop a note in Jeff's Mid-Atlantic Craps in the AC somewhere in the meetup thing, so y'all know. And I'll let you know that when and where. I think that Tuesday night, the next Tuesday, I think we're going to be at either Harris Chester or in Parks to play. So I'll let you know too. If I'm doing it, I'll let you know where I'm going to be, and we can get some folks together. Especially because my wife plays slots and my stepmother plays slots, so I'll be there alone playing craps. So yeah, absolutely. If we can do it, let's do it. Mark asked me a great question, and the answer to the question is no. Do I ever go into crapsy after a game and analyze who's doing what? I don't. You do, that's great. I don't because of time. Honestly, it's an hour show. This is an hour show. I work a day job, and then I come back at night usually, and I'm cutting videos down or filming new things. I don't have time to do all the analysis. I wish I did, because you're right. I think you can learn a lot about what people are doing. One thing to notice about me when I play is I don't run around the table a whole lot. Like I'll come in with the Philly special or whatever I'm playing. I'm going to play the strategy. I don't necessarily start hopping the things that are hot like other guys do. I think I could do more of that. Probably. I'd feel like that's such high volatility. But yeah, I could watch people play like you do. I think it's great that you're doing that. You can also, Mark, if you want to, be a mensch. Go to the Discord, and as you learn something like that, go to the Craps channel on my Discord and say, hey, I watched, or go to the Daily Paycheck, even better, and say, I watched XYZ play against John's rolls, and here's what we got out of that. Like, that would be a cool thing to share in Discord. That's the purpose of Discord. Go in there and share some of that stuff. And yeah, Mark, also, you're right here. There's a tournament-style play and a crapsy or a casino-style play. And 100% right. I'll give you an example. I'm not going to give the show away, Chris, don't worry. But Chris and I last night rolled out my entry into the tournament for his March Madness. And going into the tournament, I know two things, right? I know the strategy I'm playing against because he tells you ahead of time, you're playing against this strategy. So I know what that thing is likely to earn ahead of time. So I kind of know that. And if I was playing against, I don't know, let's just say Greg in a tournament, I know what Greg's going to do, probably. So I can tailor my play around who I'm playing against. We also knew from Chris's tournament that there was 36 rolls total, right? Just like Friday Night Fights, you know you're getting 20 rolls. That changes everything, right? If you know that there's a pitch count, you're only getting 36 rolls, you have to work the come out. You can't waste any rolls. Out of 36, you cannot waste a roll. So yeah, you work the come out, which I did last night, because you have to work the come out because you can't waste a roll. Changes my whole style of play. Working the come outs, right? You're going to do things like, oh God, there's only 4 rolls left. I have to get more aggressive with my bets because you're getting short on rolls that are left for you. So you're going to not regress when you should because you're looking at the clock going, I only got 3 rolls to go. I can't regress now. Or maybe I should regress because there's only 3 rolls left. Tournament play changes everything. Vince and Nemo, masters of the tournament play because they're so hyper aggressive. I'm not built for that. I'm not built for tournament play. I screw it up every time. I'm not very good at it. So let's see. Who else is asking me questions? I think let's see. The best practice table. Let's see. I'm trying to read that. It says, I think the best practice is to take a little bit of knowledge and viewpoint from each. Why is this not going up on the screen? From each creator and build your own amalgamation. Absolutely. I think that's the best thing about what we do here, right? You got me, you got Chris, you got Jeff, you got Waylon, Vince. Everybody's putting strategies out. They don't all speak to everybody, right? You find the thing that works for you. And we're all saying different things, yet the same, right? Ken, $300 out. Use the envelopes. Watch those videos, by the way. They're great. Me, I'm more of a get to a level, get to some goal, and then keep going. And when I keep going, I go crazy town. Some people go crazy town out of the gate. Some people regress. You can learn so much from everybody. So take it for what it's will. Take from it what you will. I think it's a great advice. And again, put the strategies out there. Let us all see them. Put your stink on it, right, Leon? When you're running these strategies and put your stink on it, you're doing your paychecks and stuff like that. It's good to see your take on it, because sometimes the creators, like yourself, like Craig at Old Bay, are picking out pieces of it that none of us ever saw. I think it's an important thing. So, all right. I think that's all the questions so far. Nothing else you guys want to know about what's going on? Let's see. Greg says, I am very consistent. I find every hole. That's exactly right. I find every hole. It is what it is. I'm just, like I said, I'm so damn streaky. It is what it is. Let's go back out to the main. Are there any pure questions that have a Q in front of them? Oh, there are a couple of them. Let's see. It looks like Jen has a work call. That's a bummer. You're missing all the good stuff here. Let's see. Yeah, blockchain is not what Vinny has. Vinny's just calling it a blockchain, right? The way he's staggering and layering those bets in there is just a name for it. Let's see. What else do you want to talk about? I can show you some WinCrap stuff if you want to. I'll show you where I got to. Let me get over here to WinCraps. Let me change my screen out. Give me a second here. It's going to take me a sec. RDP. Let's minimize that and that. And give me a second here. We'll get WinCrafts open up. I'm going to show you what I started to work on. I don't know that these scripts are finished yet. That's why I didn't lead off today with this, but it'll give you a sense of where I was probably headed with it. Let's go over here. And let's go open it up. I was going to do some flat betting, and we can look at the scripts that I've got. I don't know that they're quite perfect yet, but let's go and move this guy over a little bit. Okay, come on. Close it. Do my screen lock. Yep. Sometimes it does this. Sometimes the little connection between these two computers doesn't work that great. All right, let's move this over there. And I've got a bunch of players up here. Okay, we've got the Dolly with a don't pass and 2 don't comes, a Dolly with 3 don't comes, a Dolly that's only flats, don't pass and don't come, and a Dolly flat with 3 don't comes. And let me show you the code for these things. I think the code is interesting, but not perfect yet. I'm still working on the progressions here, but the Dolly don't pass and 2 don't comes is pretty simple. This strategy is really just on the come out roll, bet the don't pass, and put 2 don't come bets out there, and we maximize the odds. It's auto lay full odds. The Dolly with 3 don't comes is the exact same script, but it's just 3 don't come bets. So they're just don't comes, max odds, nothing else. The others, the flats are where it's interesting. So the flat don't pass, don't come is an interesting one. So we're not taking any odds. And on this one, what I tried to do was have this bet leveling thing. So basically, this is the parlay press. So your first level is 1 unit bet, right? If that wins, you parlay it to 2 units. If you win the parlay, your next bet is a 2 unit bet because you go up a level. If that wins, you parlay to 4. If the parlay wins, you go to level 3. You parlay the win. If it wins, you go level 4. And then, so that's the parlay press, right? And what this basically does, it says if the don't pass wins, we follow this betting progression. And then I say if any don't come bet wins, the next don't come bet follows that progression. So we're going to kind of level the bets up as we go. That was sort of what I was trying to do with this thing. We can run this thing out, but I think the numbers don't quite bear it out. Let's play it though. Let me just run it real quick. Let's do statistics and watch how slow this is. Bankroll. And let's see, what dice roll file am I using? Statistics or action, dice rolls. Let's see, this is the 50,000 rolls. No, this is my rolls. This is against my rolls. Let's turn that off. Let's run it against random for a few thousand rolls. Just run this exact thing. We'll do a new game and I'll run a random series here and just see the difference. And you'll be surprised by the differences here. Let's go auto bet and run it. Boom. And I'm going to let you watch these graphs. Look at this, the Dolly with a, and we're at 10x odds table here, so the odds are enormous. I'll change them. Look at how the jagged that is. Big wins, big losses, big wins, big losses. That's what you expect with a 3-point Dolly. There's a lot of home runs in here because the odds are so big. There's also a lot of soul-crushing defeats in there. We look at the Dolly with a don't pass and 2 don't comes. It's different rhythm. Look at the jaggedness in here. They're both taking full odds. One's doing 3 DCs, right? One's doing 2 DCs and a don't pass. Interesting. The 2 guys that are playing the flat, so the flat, right, a little less jagged. And I think this one, gets hurt a little bit more. I got to tweak the levels a little bit. This is the parlay press, flat, don't, and 2 DCs. I don't think that we need DCs in here. And that one, when I play it with flats and 3 DCs, again, it's got some jagged pieces to it, but overall it holds its own decently, I guess, right? So let's let these things run out here for another few thousand rolls, and we'll simulate maybe, I don't know, 20 hours of play or something. So while that's going, let me look at the chats. Anything else you want to ask me? Drop a PC in front of it so I know. He says, read the chat from the back. This says, Chris, what is going on? Oh my God, what's happening? See, this is what scares me. Going down to the bottom, what is happening in chat? I have no idea what's going on. Jen's not subscribed to Shira's channel, really. Across betting, laddering losses, call it what you wish. I have no idea what's going on here. Read this chat from the back. Oh God, I'm looking at strippers and what is happening here? What are you guys talking about? Oh geez, here we go. Wow. What is going on? You guys, this is great. I'm not rolling dice. You guys are talking about so much random stuff. How funny. Oh, you were a bartender in college. Cool, Chris. That's awesome. So that's great. Our casino is going to be the best casino. I'm telling you what. And I'll tell you this too. The thing that will keep me from moving to Vegas is this. And I'm going to change screens. I'm going to let WinCraps roll for a minute. The thing that'll keep me from moving to Vegas, there's legislation happening here in Washington. So Washington State, I don't know about your casinos where you live, but here in Washington State, the tribes, the Indian tribes, they can have slot machines, craps, and roulette, games of chance, right? And we have these little tiny, like strip mall, they're tiny strip mall casinos. They can have baccarat, all the card games basically, right? Anything that's a card game or what they call pull tabs is what's in the bars. And there's these tiny casinos everywhere. The guys that do blackjack card counting come to Washington because there's probably, God, there's got to be 150 casinos within a 10-mile radius of me. There's got to be 150 of them. And they all have like 2 blackjack tables and a bar. They're like little tiny things. The card counters love those places. They can't have craps and roulette. There's legislation pending that will give those little tiny casinos sports betting, craps, and roulette. So if I can run to the Safeway, go food shopping, and then go to the Rite Aid, and then the very next door over is a craps table, I'm never moving. I'll open a casino like that right here, and that'll be Casino John. You guys come to my house, and we'll do that. So, yeah, that's going to be the thing, and then we'll have Chris out there doing it. I am talking about King Dice, Dusted One. You know, like I said, I don't begrudge anybody anything. I know he likes to give me a bunch of crap, right? Which is cool. Let him. I don't care, right? He makes fun of me all the time. A lot of people make fun of me all the time. I don't really care. I have pretty thick skin. I'm looking forward to someday meeting him. And I think honestly, the exterior that you see on YouTube is not what he's probably actually like. And I think that when he and I get together and have some pizza and a beer or two, I bet you we become pretty good friends, right? I'm friendly with everybody, but I'll bet you that a lot of what you see and hear is, you know, again, a lot of it's marketing. A lot of it is doing the thing. So you just never know, right? I'll give everybody a chance. All right, let's go to WinCraps. I'm going to go switch screens. We're still rolling. Let's see what happens. We're at 4,000 rolls. Can we see who's got a prediction? Who's going to win money here? Let's see. Let's see what happens. We stop the roll tracker and oh my God, look at this. Look at what happened against Randy Randerson. The tiny ladder, which has been our leader this whole time, wins 760. The straight don't pass, 225, as you'd expect. It just hangs around. The progressive odds don't pass, $25 and progressively taking odds, 36.60, which is about what you'd expect. It's only a don't pass. The Dolly with a don't pass and 2 don't come bets against Randy won $24,000 in this series. The Dolly with 3 don't comes won $20,000 in this series. The 2 guys flat betting on the parlay press, pure flat betting. And again, it's the don't pass and the don't comes. They're both losing about $100 and $25. They're not making anything. And I think it's because the rhythm's wrong. My rhythm on those 2, that's why I say I'm not ready yet. The script is not correct. Where the don't come bets are getting too high unnecessarily. I got a bug in there somewhere that I got to fix. So I'm going to work through these 2 here because these 2 should be winning money at the very least. They should never lose money because they're doing the exact same bets the Dolly's doing. They just don't have odds. They shouldn't be losing any money. So I'm going to figure out what's going on with those 2 bets, those 2 scripts, and I'll rerun the thing. Normally, these 2 actually outpace the Dollies when I run them out. So there it is. That's going to be pretty fun to get this thing fixed. But yeah, look at that. Look at the Dolly. The Dolly, I'm telling you, man, the Dolly freaking wins. That thing, that's a winner. That is a winner chicken dinner right there. Jen, I know Jen just went, the Dolly. Super huge, right? It's super huge. Cajun craps. Let's put this up here. I'm going to go change back to my screen. So more win craps coming for sure. D8, remember when it was 25 watching? I remember when, you guys don't know this, right? Here, 60 some people watching. I want you to go back in time with me. I used to do this show on the Pro Craps channel, and the live stuff was killing that channel. And I said, we're going to start a new channel called CGTV, and I'm going to switch you all over. And the first day we had 50 subscribers, and I ran Coffee and Craps over here with only the 50 subscribers, and we had 9 viewers the first week. We had 9 viewers for the first few weeks. And I'm like, I just destroyed myself. I literally have crushed my YouTube dreams by making that call. Then we dual streamed for a hot minute. Now we're at 60 people watching me talk. Right? It's incredible. This community is incredible. It's really pretty cool. Yeah, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. I can't even tell you I appreciate it. Dusted One says $20,000 on 4,000 rolls. Yes. And the reason why that thing made so much money, I'll go back over here, is because of this. The only reason why it's made so much money is because of this configuration. I made it 10x odds. I think it's I have 10x odds everywhere. So it's a don't pass, 2 don't comes, 10x odds. So the wins are enormous, right? When you look at the chart, the spray chart, I call it, for those strategies, they win so much money because you're putting out massive amount of odds. So I'm going to change it to be a 3, 4, 5 table. I'm going to make the don't pass flat bet. I'm going to use the tiny ladder don't pass bet on that. And I'm going to take max odds 3, 4, 5 table size. And we're going to see how that thing changes. And I think that's going to be this is where Win Craps makes you money, right? Because now I've got the answers. I know what works home run style, but I can't afford to play that way. I can't afford to go 3 bets with 10x odds. I can't do it. I also know that the flat bet with a little tiny rise makes some money. Can I marry those 2 at a level that we can all afford to play? And now we're going to start playing with what's the right flat bet, what's the right odds level, and what's the right progression. We start getting that nailed down, then you get the quote unquote perfect don't pass play. That's what Win Craps will help us do. We can run all 5 together, and I can tweak them as we go. We're going to get this thing figured out. It's going to be pretty fun. Yeah, so there we go. What else? John, the Crapsy Facebook page. I keep forgetting to mention that, Duracell, you're right. We have a Crapsy Facebook page, which you can link. You have a wrench. You can put a link in the chat to that, Duracell, if you want to. I got to get that link. Actually, I got to change part of my process is every video that I put out has the little 1-800-GAMBLERS disclaimer in it. I got to put links to the Facebook page, to all the Discord. I got to get all of our community links in there. I'll do that. So, yeah, I'll make sure I get that in there. Greg is giving math here. $5 or $5 a roll on that run, on average, over time, right? That is an advantage over the house. If that's actually working that way, right? Again, we need to get that those things tweaked. All right, what else we have? You know what? I boycotted Facebook too for a long time. I boycotted Facebook. Boy, I took a lot of heat for this too back in the day. I boycotted it back when they first allowed live streaming, and they live streamed like these 3 people beating somebody up and flushing his head. It was a kid who was mentally challenged, and they beat him up and flushed him in the toilet and they live streamed it, and people were hitting the like button, and Facebook didn't take the video down. And that's when I tapped out of Facebook. I was out of Facebook for good. I only went back to Facebook for craps content. That's it. I went back there just to put some crap stuff up and get some, but I really don't use it. I don't like, it's awful. Facebook, TikTok, it's all bad. Yeah. Let's see. Jen says, no, that's what I'm going to do. The next move is to make a Dolly at 3, 4, 5, or 5x odds with the 20% ladder. That's going to be the next thing. I may even do the 20% ladder and find some way to do a little parlay in there as well. So lots of things to play with. The don't pass can be exciting, folks. It doesn't have to be boring. You can do some interesting moves with the money. All right. Yeah, Fives is right. I got no social media and can't stand it. Social media is the devil. I'm off of Twitter too. I mean, I was on Twitter. I used to be super active politically, and if you guys who know me know where I stand politically, I used to be very active, outspoken, beating the drum. I was trying to change hearts and minds. You cannot change hearts and minds on Twitter. Twitter is the devil's playground, and so is TikTok, and so is Facebook. I think, and Instagram's even worse. Instagram is even worse. So I don't do any of that stuff. I do YouTube because it's a medium that we can talk in, that we all have, but I don't use the other stuff. I had no time for it. So, yeah, exactly. There you go. That's why we boycott. All right, PCs, any more final questions before I go? It's about 9 o'clock. I talked for an hour. We did a little bit of WinCrap stuff, but it's time. It's time to go to work. Yeah. Waylon, DP and DC together. Yeah, you're exactly right. Normally, that's why I think the flat bet one isn't going to work so well. I want to run the flat bet one with 2 DCs only and ladder them that way. And maybe that's the answer. So I'm going to try and run some different options there. And that's, I think, again, with WinCraps, I can explore what you're saying, Waylon. All right, let's get out of here. 9 o'clock, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me this week. I got videos coming for you next week like I talked about. And I will see you live in person again next Friday. If I go to the casino while I'm in Jersey, I'll give you a live trip report. But beyond that, wish me luck. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next one. All have a great week and good, safe, happy, fun, productive weekend. God bless every one of y'all, and I'll see you. Bye.